Post Digital Life Hack, we're going to be giving you a can't miss call from the Kim Komando Show that just lit up our weekends. You sit at your computer all day. You look down at your phone, your tablet, or your smartwatch. Now, tell me this. Does your neck hurt? I'm Kim Komando. Be tech smart and get my free newsletter at getkim.com. You're glued to your screen, and that's straining your muscles. Tech neck happens when you jut your head forward or down for an extended period of time. The average person spends 3 hours and 15 minutes staring down at their phones. Take some pressure off. Stare up at the ceiling. Think about it. If your head's always pointed down, it needs to be stretched in the opposite direction. Second stretch, the head turn. Stay sitting tall. Turn your head to one side as if you're trying to peek over your shoulder. Count to 30. Then do the same on the other side. The third stretch, the shoulder dance. Shrug those shoulders up to your ears. Roll them back and down. Do this dance move about 10 times. Another pro tip, every now and then, take a break. Stand up, walk around, grab some water. You deserve it. Do it now. Sign up for my free newsletter at getkim.com. Okay, as promised, here's a standout call from my show. Hi there, Steve, in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.
Why, hello. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. What's going on?
Well, it's wonderful to be on your show. I really love your program. It's great for us technologically challenged people. It's very, very good. And I get a lot out of it.
Thank you.
Last week, you just in an offhand comment mentioned that a great many young people cannot read analog clocks. And so I dashed off a story to you, and I thought it was kind of funny.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I read it. You know what? I'd love for you to tell the whole story. The whole story. Because, I mean, did you ever think that there would come a time in your life or my life where we would say, you know, the kids don't know how to read a clock. No. They're wondering what those big hands are for, right?
No, I don't.
Oh, what's that little sweepy thing that goes around and around and around real fast?
No, it's so much for wristwatches now too. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what this bodes for the future. But it's funny. This is just a funny story. Now, I used to teach high school English, and I was at a faculty meeting years ago, and it's the first time I got wind of this. I had a bunch of teachers who were overwrought, and they had it just dawned on them that it was towards the end of the year, and we were all doing the state testing, and the students were woefully unprepared because they did not know how to read analog clocks. So these teachers were saying, we need to put digital clocks in the classrooms immediately, anywhere where they're testing. We have to do this. This is something, the most important thing, because we don't want them to feel, any anxiety while they're taking the test. So,
poor little pumpkins.
The word snowflakes comes to mind. And
yes, exactly.
Okay. So everyone was in complete agreement except for me. How typical of that is, I won't tell you. But I said, wait a minute.
Just a grumpy guy. You're just a grumpy guy.
I am the contrarian in the room almost all the time. And so here I was yet again. And but I have to think I was right this time. I do. I think this was the right approach. I said, hey, folks, come on. We're educators, and we have a deficiency here in education. The first thing, maybe I shouldn't have led off so harshly. I said, does anyone else besides me understand that this is an indictment against us as educators? I mean, we have juniors and seniors who cannot read a clock. This is like, how did this happen?
Where did we somehow we failed them. I think we failed them. I'm not really sure how, but we did.
We failed them. And that's how I approached it initially. And I said, we're educators. We should solve this problem as educators. Why don't we teach them?
Right.
We still have weeks left before these tests. Why don't we teach them? And this was greeted with a surge of apathy. No one was on board. Nobody cared. And they all
you had the scarlet letter on you right there.
nobody agreed with me. And it was, it was just, oh, okay. That's just Steve being a contrarian, I guess is what they thought. But so I undertook it on myself. And I should tell you, we immediately got the digital clocks. That's how that.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah.
I took it on myself to take about 5 minutes during class time in the next week. And I said to the kids, I said, look, I don't care if you can read a clock. Don't tell me if you can or not. Just pay attention, because I want to make sure that you don't leave this school unable to read a digital or an analog clock.
Yeah, I mean,
And
because,
I
you
think
see them
they
at
all knew.
airports,
And they all knew.
Did
But
they know?
what they did by the time
Okay,
I got
good.
through with them, because it's not very difficult. It's not a really difficult thing.
It's not.
Once it's explained to you patiently, and so I didn't test them on it or anything, but I feel pretty secure that those kids who paid attention did learn. And I know that there were kids in that classroom who did not know how to read an analog clock, although I didn't want to embarrass them. I didn't want to draw any attention to that at
Sure.
all. So,
And I'm sure that the other teachers were like, I mean, come on, Steve, are we going to teach them how to fold a map next?
Well,
I mean,
it makes you wonder what they are exquisitely educated in all kinds of little nuances.
Sure, they are.
And yet they don't know how to read a damn clock. Now this is
No.
I don't know. But I thought you'd get a kick.
no,
out
a
of it,
clock.
too.
I think a clock. You know what? And I enjoyed your story, and that's why I wanted you to tell the story to everybody because, it's not difficult. Like you said, it just would have taken them 5 minutes. But, maybe what I've learned is that to do positive sandwiches. Okay, so when faced in that situation again, Steve, you can say, you know what? I really think that all of you are doing a fabulous job as educators. I don't think that there's anything any one of you could be doing better. I need to learn some things, but I think that everyone here is just fabulous and doing the best job ever. And I can't think of a better team I want to be with. But we're missing one thing. The kids don't know how to read a clock. So with all of your expertise and how wonderful everybody is, and I'm going to give a trophy to everybody just for your participation, is that we're going to teach positive sandwich. See? Positive sandwich.
Well, I know, and that's a wonderful approach. And that's why you're universally loved and admired. And I'm
okay, and you're
I'm
not.
the cranky curmudgeon in the corner of the faculty lounge.
Oh, you know what? Thanks for sharing your story with us, really, because I mean, it's an interesting time where the kids are growing up with everything digital, and they might be faced with an analog clock, as I mentioned, at the airport or in their workplace or maybe even the county jail. They'll just see an analog clock and they won't know what time it is and what time they get out of jail. They won't be able to say. They won't be able to ask. Steve, again, thank you for calling in. Hey, cheers for being part of the listening squad. Now, if you have something on your tech radar that you're dying to know more about, easy peasy. Head over to Komando.com, click Email Kim. Now, every email you send gets my full attention. No kidding. Now, when you're ready for no fluff, just essential tech stuff in your inbox, head over to GetKim.com and sign up for my free daily newsletter. That's GetKim.com.